Creators, change makers, oikos chapter members, and each and everyone present here to the Higher Education Summit. I'm Navya Shivaprakash from Oikos International, your host for this session on harvesting from practicing collective learning spaces. And with me, I have Bengisu Bereset, lead researcher, and Daria supporting us for Zoom facilitation. Today in the morning session, for those of you who joined, I heard engaging students as one of the highlights. So together from Oikos International, this is a culmination of a flagship program, Oikos Academy. It's a transformative 6-month change lab that aims to make higher education a future-ready, learner-driven, and regenerative. The Academy empowers student groups, like you see today in this session, globally to be a catalyst in fostering collective learning spaces. These spaces invite professors, faculty members, businesses, and international organizations to lead a transformative outcome, new commitments, next steps on critical topics ranging from sustainable practices in education to innovative pedagogies. In this edition of Oikos Academy, our student leaders were not left alone. They had our lead researchers who mentored them for their local collective initiatives. So by the end of this program, student leaders have acquired hands-on experience in managing an actual project, resulting in valuable insights and the development of various skill sets. Today, we are here together to listen to those narratives from the courageous initiatives of the 5 oikos chapters, Barcelona, Delhi, Graz, Jamshedpur, and Kano. They have taken a bold step by establishing collective learning spaces in diverse formats within their universities. Each chapter will showcase their local initiative, followed by a lively discussion moderated by Bengisu. And this session will conclude with your highlights in an engaging dialogue. I invite you all once again to this session with an open mind, respect, curiosity for new perspectives, and learning in it. Let us also appreciation by listening intentionally, asking questions, and turning on our videos. Now I give my word to Bengisu.
Hi, everybody. I hope you are hearing me good because today I'm also in another conference, which is also for sustainability initiatives in Germany. And I'm super happy today that I can moderate your session. And also, I think we will have learn so many points from your experiences. And I think the audience here, the participants, they will also learn from you. So, and yeah, maybe you're wondering what I'm doing. So I am in the cohort this year, in a LIP researchers program, which we started already in September, last year. And now we are about to finish the program. And what I am doing is actually, I'm also creating collaborative learning spaces. And at the TU Berlin, Technical University Berlin, and I founded my initiative for Collaboration Lab on Sustainable Development Goals, and which we bring different actors together, which we try to give also this mission that is actually everything is possible with collaboration. So when you bring different actors together, then you have more outcomes and then you reach more persons. And so therefore, it's I'm also super happy to learn from you and also maybe to ask the initiatives different points. So maybe what was the main challenges so that you can also maybe learn and take it away to your own initiatives or projects. And it's basically it's not this collective learning spaces is has like so many aspects. So it's not just sustainability, but it's also like learning, reforming the education. So what we are doing also like in the, of course, like the oikos chapters, what they also try to do is actually bringing this different aspects in this like collective learning spaces, like to really bring like this this new educational institutions. So like it's not this top-down approach, but it's also like bottom-up. So people comes together, they think of new formats, new spaces, which is like not existing right now. So maybe like to make it more sustainable and more innovational and more inspirable for the future sustainable leaders. And it's a great nexus between also like of course like higher education and sustainability. So that's why we need to have the spirit of like collective like intelligence, and we need to like nurture the new generations like of what we are doing and what we can like really think out of the box. So I'm super happy also like to right now to learn from your learnings, what you did like in the last 6 months, because it's a great program. I am also super happy that I was joining as a as a researcher program, because I did my master's also at the TU Berlin regarding how to the transformation in the buildings to net zero. And this has also actually, I am trying to also build like in schools this collective learning space, so that we come together, we do workshops, we do different formats like fishbowls you're going to present today, panel talks you're going to present today, which we are also going to do. So we need more collaboration spaces, new learning spaces, new education system. So yeah, I think in this case I can also like hand over like the word to the chapters. And yeah, and I think like our first chapter, so Anastasia, Oikos, Barcelona. Can you please tell us about like your initiative, your approach? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bengisu. So hello, everyone. My name is Anastasia Blaszek, and I'm currently in my 3rd year of my BBA at ESADE and an active member of Oikos Barcelona. Now I would like to share with you my story as a participant of Oikos Academy in the past few months. So when brainstorming ideas with the signed Leap researcher Tarlan Amadov, we came up with a transformative one-day event in the form of a panel discussion titled "Who Leads the Change? Transitioning Towards a Circular Economy," in order to address the critical need for a shift towards a more sustainable and circular business in the face of environmental degradation and climate change. The event was co-organized by myself and my team from Oikos Barcelona and Tarlan Amadov, a researcher of Taltech. My vision for the Oikos Academy was bringing together various stakeholders, including an NGO, a big corp, an SME, as well as academics, to discuss how they are leading the change towards a more sustainable future. The aim of this event was to educate future business leaders, highlighting the need to listen to multi-stakeholder viewpoints and empowering individuals to become effective change agents. With over 50 people attending both in person and online, and with presentations from various speakers, including representatives from Cultura, a big corp, Sheep Inc., a small enterprise, Taltech, a university, and the Club of Rome, an NGO, and UNIDO, an institution, we were able to obtain a holistic understanding of various stakeholders and what they are doing to contribute towards a more sustainable future. At the end of each presentation, we held a 5-minute Q&A session, allowing attendees to actively become involved in the panel discussion and enhancing the learning process. All in all, the event was a great success and acted as a powerful catalyst for transformative change towards the inclusion of circular economy in various business models. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It sounds like amazing. I'm like also like really happy to later, like in the panel discussion, learn about more, like deep dives. What was your challenges? What was your target groups? So let's then move maybe to our next chapter. Hello, Aditya. Hi. Oikos
Hello.
Delhi. Do you want to tell about like your initiative? Thank you.
Sure. So I'd like to share my screen first, as I have a small PPT to share as well. I do hope it's visible to everyone. Yes, so I'd like to begin. So here, our goal that we have been implementing in Oikos Delhi for the past 6 months for enabling, collective learning spaces. What was that? We developed the game. So what we thought was that, when we play a game, especially a team-related game, we actually learn a lot. We learn how to work with the team. We learn a lot from our team members, as well as we learn a lot from the other team we are playing against as well. So we thought that we can actually develop a game to implement, to help the students learn important sustainability concepts through that game. So here our objectives were threefold. The first was to enable students to learn the sustainability concepts. The second is to improve the communication skills as well as the teamwork skills for the students, apart from giving them a bit more ownership in what they learn. So when we play the game, we are the ones, who are implementing the concepts like that is the various sustainability concepts. So which will help them learn better. The third is that we are also in touch with the professors, the academia, and also we hope to get in businesses to make the game more realistic and more real life, through which they can be able to learn the real concepts that occur in the business and the corporate and the business world as well. So here I would like to go a bit through the game. So here the game is essentially a two team game where each team can have around 3 or 4 members. So each team essentially represent a product as shown in the picture here, which here and in the product, there's a lot of sustainability concepts which are attached to that product, and we have realistically tried to associate, give a realistic score based on what the product will actually represent in the real world. So here, for example, there's circular economy, environmental responsibility, and so on. So these scores have been, assigned by what that product will actually represent in the real world as well. Now the teams actually try to trade with each other, and they won't know what the other team has. So they will have to try to trade with each other based on the different environmental scenarios and situations we throw at them. And at the end, the team with the highest score wins. So here we had conducted the game with more than around 70 and 80 students in XLRA Delhi, which actually got a really good response. And we had held this game in a tournament style. So here, we are after post the game, when we interviewed the students, all of them were actually mentioned that they were able to understand the concepts like circular economy and so on, which were actually quite new to them. So we believe that we can actually improve on this game and make this as part of our curriculum as well. So now I would like to go over the future plans for this. So here now we are still working on improving the game. We are working on making simulations, as well as we are working on creating a case in which the game can be formalized and implemented in our curriculum as well. Apart from this, we hope to include our academia, that is our professors whom we are already in contact with, as well as a few potential businesses, people from the corporate world as well, to make the game a bit more realistic. Through this, we hope to ensure that this game can be something which can be implemented in various universities in other places as well. So overall, we are working on creating a standardizing and formalizing the game so that it will be easy to implement across the different universities, first in Oikos as well as in the other universities as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Like, what I see is like this, you are reaching with the gaming approach, and which is actually right now, I think we really need this like methods to reach more people. And so I will come back to you later. So, but now let's invite our next chapter, Katerina. Hello. Yeah, please like share your initiative. You're from oikos Graz. Nice.
Yeah, hello, thank you. We decided to bring that inspiring discussion that's going on here at the Higher Education Summit directly to our university. Because here in Graz we have numerous initiatives and individuals that work on making the university greener and the world a better place. And we decided to bring them together and see how we can better collaborate to create an impact within our university. So we decided to host an interactive event, which actually took place last night, so it's very, very recent. And we hosted a fishbowl talk. For those of you who might not have heard of a fishbowl format before, there are some experts in the inner circle, so we invited 2 activists, 2 professors from with a sustainability background, and 1 professor from translation studies. And they all contributed with their different perspectives. So they sat in the inner circle together with the moderator, and the audience sits in a bigger circle around the small inner circle. But in the inner circle, there are 2 free seats, and every member of the audience has the right to take that space and actively participate in the discussion. And it was really wonderful to see how people got really engaged. And in the end, they even started adding more and more chairs to the inner circle, which was very inspiring to see. And when we finally wrapped up the session, here you can see a picture of the session. When we finally wrapped it up, it was way over time, and people still had so many ideas and opinions to express. So we had prepared a small buffet with vegan homemade food and some drinks, and it was great to see that people stayed and engaged in informal discussions. But even now, when the event is over, the discussion is still going on. The university's sustainability coordinator asked for our notes or takeaways, and we also want to further deepen the cooperation with other student groups here in Graz. Yeah, and most of all, we as a team got really inspired and decided that we want to host similar events again. So yeah, thank you.
Perfect. I mean, it's actually super nice also that you have some support maybe from like the sustainability manager you said, like from your new university. So I think this can be also because what we are checking in this, all of these events, summits, like what's gonna go from this afterwards. So like we need to think of long-term sustainability. And yeah, but I will come to you later. So for the details. And yeah, our next chapter, I think we have 2 chapters more, right? I guess, if I'm not mistaken. So, hello, Purva, like from oikos. Please help me.
I would also like to request you to add Shivam. Yeah.
Perfect. Hi, Shivam. Hello. So, do you want to just share your screen and just start to give your like main
yeah, we'll just get to the content. We don't have presentation.
Okay, perfect. Then I leave you to it.
Cool. So hi, Shivam and I are representatives of XLRI Jamshedpur Sigma Oikos chapter. So when discussing about collective learning spaces, we recognize the need for open conversations about critical topics, not just inside the 4 walls of our campus, but some which already has forums, but also outside in rural India, where there's a strong need of having safe spaces to discuss the seemingly taboo topics. That's when we came up with the idea to actually reach out to the rural community outside Jamshedpur to extend this collective learning spaces type of a concept. So we decided we decided to do a survey about the awareness around menstrual hygiene, which is a topic we had chosen in adolescent girls, that is around the age of 13 to 18, in partnership with two NGOs, that is the Koru Foundation and Robin Hood Army, in the rural sublocality of Kitade near Jamshedpur, where we have our college. So after the preliminary information gathering, we found the awareness levels to be low and we decided to have a menstrual awareness drive there. I, along with two other girls from Sigma, visited the Gram Panchayat office of Kitade, where we created a common space to address questions and foster discussions about menstruation, why it happens, the biology of it, the hygiene around it, products that can help, and etc. With qualified instructors who were like from the partner NGOs. We even distributed cloth pads to the girls, which are sanitary, sustainable, long lasting. And the drive was a success. We could spark conversations amongst the attendees and as well as the other people of the locality living around. So we sincerely hope for this to be the start of a snowball effect to have such common spaces for open discussions for information dissemination on like such critical topics. I think.
So, all right, I'll take it forward. So, let's say while Apurva has so far necessitated the need for such a learning space, let me tell you something that you may have failed to notice. That Apurva mentioned that she, along with two of the other female members, two other women from our team, went for the drive. So that was the major challenge that we faced. All right, there's a parity between a man talking about something such as menstrual hygiene and a female talking about something as a something on the topic. So it's not because of the lack of the effort, but primarily due to the part that India is, still in the rural context, is still a patriarchal society, which taboos around the topic, and that's the part where we are focusing on the sustainable development goal number 3, where is mental health and good health and hygiene. All right. So major workplaces also have not instant safe spaces for women and support them through the difficult days of their menstrual cycle. And if you ask me, where does that start? It starts right here in a business school. And it is here in the business schools where there are leaders who shape the future policy. And while there's no space currently in our in our campus to talk about this, we have started something up that will initiate this forward. So we are of the kind which don't think in radical transformations, but actually taking some small steps that would actually end up impacting more and more people. And therefore, the next steps of our long journey would be to establish a safe learning space within our own campus. And this will start from 2 months from now, when we are actually having a flagship event of social entrepreneurship conclave, where we'll have some entrepreneurs from throughout India, a couple of people where we'll have a panel discussion, and a theme for the whole event, and the sub theme would revolve around rural India and the menstrual hygiene issue that we've raised. And with this issue, we also have linkage with the basic learning programs that we instill for the higher education students around the region of Jamshedpur, because the colleges here, they don't have proper quality education being imparted due to the lack of funding and the lack of proper teaching equipments. So we'll try to collaborate these two themes into one, having a theme and a sub theme in our upcoming social entrepreneurship conclave. And we wish to make an impactful scale. So let's see how it works out, and we'll be happy to answer any and all questions that you have. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think like you already kind of already give the answers to my questions, which is gonna come, but it's okay. So I can ask you more different questions. So and okay, so it's great. It sounds super nice. And like maybe because of the time, I will just like skip to the other chapter. So thank you so much to you too. So hi, hello, oikos Kano.
Hello.
How are you? Do you want to start telling about your initiative? 3 minutes.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, I'll be sharing my screen.
Thank you.
Okay, I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. So for oikos Kano, in line with the theme for this year's summit, we chose a transformative vision for a sustainable campus, and at first we wanted to do
just a sec, like to interrupt you. Like what
Okay.
we see is not in the full picture. Is it supposed to be like this?
Yes, it's meant to be like this.
Okay. Okay. So
Yes.
okay, perfect.
All right. At first we tried to create a hub where, you know, a space where students can come and learn, but then we felt we wouldn't really be connected much to a sustainable campus or fostering unity amongst the students. And alongside with our lead researcher, Antonia Pullman, we threw around separate ideas, and then we came up with a garden. So now why did we as Oikos Kano pick a garden? We felt a garden is not just a place where you plant trees and other things, but we felt it's a root of connection, whereby in as much as we plant seeds, we also plant our ideas alongside our seeds, where it can be nurtured and it can be taken care of. And then our vision for this whole garden is a creation of a vibrant garden where our students and stakeholders can come together and exchange ideas on how to make a better and suitable university system that is sustainable and is obtainable with the changes of the realities of the 21st centuries. And then along the way, we realized we didn't really have a big idea of why we chose a garden. But then during the planning process, we realized that yes, a garden is a much more beautiful way of getting to know the stakeholders, because we were faced with separate challenges, from time constraint to the bureaucracy, where we submitted a proposal for a permission to get a garden. But yes, to get a garden, but then we had to go through, myself and Miriam had to go through the president, from the president to the director of the center, and then from her to the vice chancellor. And then it took months and months before we finally got an approval. And then this is a sneak peek of what the garden we hope to create entails like. And then these are our challenges. And then whilst we were waiting for approval, I could remember our LIPS researcher telling us, why don't we just have a concept of what we want our garden to look like, and an idea and a background, in the sense that once we get the approval, we don't have to start from the whole system and then making another application. Once we get the approval, we could just submit our ideas, and that way it would be a bit faster. And then we speculated a lot of ideas, but Antonia helped us to limit these ideas into something tangible and feasible, something transformative. She infused wisdom and insights for us, and then she helped us navigate through challenges and offer strategic solutions, which, as you can see with our sneak peek idea, we already have a background of what we want. Now, how are we going to implement this, and what are our reflections? Through the journey of challenges and all of that, we understood that the garden is a perfect fit, is a space where students can feel safe and share their ideas, and alongside meet stakeholders without having to go through all the protocols and bureaucracy alongside. And then what next? We would have launched our garden this month, but students are all exhausted because myself and Miriam just finished our exams, I think last week, but then some students are yet to finish. So we felt, why not, let's leave this when we resume at the beginning of the next semester, which is in 2 weeks. We already have our confirmed location. We already have our required procurement, our community engagement with the students, and then our educational outreach and logistic planning. We already all have that in place. But then we felt, why not, when students are resuming, we're all going to feel refreshed, much more energized, and will be much more inclusive to the idea of launching the garden, rather than just throwing it to them whilst they are still stressed and going through their exams. So I think that's our what next, and that's what we have for Oikos Kano. Thank you so much for watching.
Perfect. Thank you so much for presenting. And I guess we have Alicia, like you are from also, like, no, this is like the switch, you are from the other chapter. Okay, so thank you so much, like, for your garden idea. I mean, it's actually what is right now is also happening in Berlin, that we have like this urban gardens, like also like in the campus and in the school. So maybe there could be also something nice for you to learn like what the others did, so you can just take it over, like the concepts, because this is like what we are doing right now, what we are trying to achieve right now here, no? So like everybody maybe like who is joining this Zoom call right now is eager to learn like what you did until now, and maybe there could be like space for you also for your ideas and for your projects, which you get like the insights from the people around you or in from the other projects. So this is actually the main takeaway from collective learning spaces, and I really love like the ideas or like the projects which you brought up. So yeah, let's start like a bit talking more like deep into your like projects, and so maybe let's start like in a general way. So the collective learning spaces, so how did you try to implement in your projects the idea of like collective sharing, collective learning, collective education? Who wants to start?
I'll go ahead if that's all right.
Please.
Okay, surely. So, for collective learning spaces, it's not just about, imparting some education, some textbook education. It's more about the social aspect as well. Because while at Oikos International, you're focusing on the sustainability as a prime, focus. So, let's see how we did it. So, we had an initial idea of menstrual drive, right? So, with menstrual drive, we focused more on how we could bring it from rural to urban as well, all right, in the campus as well. So the collective learning space, we defined it as a safe space where we could openly discuss these issues. And it does not just end with talking about taboo topics in India, such as menstrual drive, such as menstrual cycle of women. It's more about extending it to business practices, inculcating it in business practices in a way such that there's open discussion on it, and we can actually have a more safe space for women in India where they can actually take a sick day without getting a pay cut. And it's a sick day just because they are having a bad day here. All right. It's not there in India. It's not there in the government sector in India. It's not there in the private sector. So, being one of the leading colleges in the Asia Pacific region, and we have the best human resource program, and the people here, they actually make it to assume CHRO's position. So, I think if a couple of them just learn it and take it forward, I think we can have an impact as much as of a public policy change. So that's a stepping stone from here.
Yeah, it sounds super nice because it's actually I have already like a partner and like a concept for your own project. Because this is what I'm doing at the TU Berlin. Like I have this collaboration lab on sustainable development goals, and we are doing different impact projects for different sustainable challenges. And we had a challenge in Nepal for like menstruation taboo, like for the woman. And directly on this challenge, like I had a partner which we were collaborating like on really making a research on sites, and then like making different catalogs, and like for the women like different like help resources, and which they can implement directly. So I'm super happy that I hear from you today, and I will pass like to somebody else. Like, so I want to hear one more. Like, what's collective learning space for you? How did you create the space in your own community, in your own chapter?
For our chapter, as already presented, we thought of establishing a physical garden to represent a collective learning space for us. And this garden is not only a space for plants, but a space where we can host our events, where we can have discussions, where we can have workshops for students, for even our lecturers and all stakeholders of the university. So it's in our opinion, it's our best version of fostering a collective space where we can all learn together.
I really like the idea. What you also like right now is also developing also I see like my cohort colleague researcher Antonia. Hi Antonia. And it's because we need these spaces which is not existing also maybe in the campus, so that you say, hey, this is like the space where we come together, where we do like the panel talk regarding this new educational mindset, how to change the mindset of people. So I think this is like this, what we are also trying to do in every chapter. And okay, so I see a question in the chat, but I will take the question later if it's okay. So I just need. So I'm back. And so maybe let's ask like about from general to a bit like more specific. Okay, so you were talking about like some different like sustainability goals. Of course, this is like collective learning space. It's not just sustainability, but it has like different aspects of sustainability, right? So it has social aspect. It has like this collaboration, partnership on the goals, like SDG 17. And so what do you think about like these goals? Do you have any kind of thought about like how to measure maybe the impact? So what's at the end like your outcome of the chapter? So did you think of this vision? So for the ones I didn't hear until now, please. Katerina, you look like you're gonna tell something.
I think for us, the vision really was like we know there are a lot of initiatives and people that are very active, and we really wanted to get them together in one room and have this collaborative space and open discussion. So I think that was our main vision.
And how did your like fishbowl went? So like how was like actually like how many people like came? Like you tried to make like a space, a really like in-person space, right? So it wasn't a hybrid, because there are like different formats, like as we do it like virtual formats like we are doing right now, but in person could be also. So like what was like for you? So who was your target group, and did you do just in person or also hybrid?
Our main target group were people here in Graz, but that's one of the biggest challenges we faced. We wanted to make it hybrid, but in the end there was like a technical hiccup with the Zoom link. So we only streamed, I think, half of the session. So most people joined only like in person. I think we had around 25 visitors. And I think in the end, 7 online visitors, but yeah, as I said, they couldn't hear the whole discussion, unfortunately. Yeah, but
I understand.
that was a bit disappointing because we knew a lot of people who wanted to join online. And yeah, but here in person, it was very lively, and I didn't expect that people would get so engaged and bring so many ideas. Even activists from other groups joined, and students and professors, and it was really like, I think the discussion, like we could have kept going like 1 or 2 hours more, but we had to wrap it up sometimes. So yeah.
Yeah, super nice. Like I heard the word like challenge. So maybe I want to go more deep dive on the challenges. So because you were working on this like 6 months, so I know like I feel like in this field, like every day, like I need to fight. So I need to fight to get what I want. And so of course there are like more challenges. So for example, like also regarding to the chat, like the question in the chat, like the improvement of the university. Like this is also like one of the biggest challenges, because some of the universities, maybe they really not open for these new innovations. And also maybe like you were just saying the challenge, like technical challenge, which we have, it's sometimes it's really frustrating, but I think like after like it was a period of time like after pandemic, so we are trying to change the spaces. So maybe I ask in this case also, like all of you did like in the physical space, or like you were using virtual spaces? And if you were using like different spaces, what was the biggest challenges you were facing? Some of you were like already mentioning in the presentation, but like maybe for the ones who didn't talk yet, maybe it could be like Anastasia, could be Aditya.
Yeah,
Just go in front.
so I think so first of all, we had a hybrid event with people joining on campus, so students in Arasada in Barcelona, and then we also had people joining online. We actually marketed the event to the YSI, the Young Student Initiative, and also Oikos International was also one of the ways we marketed the event. And so we had people from at a global reach, with people joining from all over the world, but mostly from students from ESADE. And I think the main challenge was we had a 5-minute Q&A at the end of each presentation, and it was basically connectivity and actually hearing and seeing the speakers and also the students interacting with the online speakers. I think that was the main challenge, because they couldn't really like see the speakers, and the speakers couldn't see the students, vice versa, that were in class. I think it was kind of difficult to kind of foster like this dialogue in that way.
Yeah, so it was more like also in a way that I understand it was more like technical, because actually if you put like different perspectives like in the camera, so maybe like you can solve this problem, or was it like more a problem?
We had cameras like in the classroom, but it was more like the whole classroom, and it wasn't like focused on the person asking the question, so there wasn't like a face-to-face kind of dialogue. And also just understanding the questions from in-person to online, it was like more challenging than if it was in-person to in-person or online to online. I think it's just like
switch, right?
channels slash together. Yeah.
So like, who didn't I hear until now? I want to hear like your voice. Aditya, I think like you didn't tell about like a bit like your other participants like in the panel talk, so maybe I ask you the last question. So what would be your main takeaway which you want to share, and from your own chapter?
So I would say that the main takeaway which we can, like all of us can learn, is that first of all that we have to make learning fun. That, you know, as far as what I have seen with the trials we have conducted in our college, with the games we conducted, is that, you know, when we make the same take the same concepts outside a, you know, a classroom or a PPT, and inculcate them in a way where, you know, the students can actually interact with each other, where they'll have to challenge themselves to use the concepts which they learn in a way which is in a competitive way, you know, where with their friends, with the people they know, by communicating with each other, they will actually learn these concepts a lot more easily. And when we implement those concepts in such a way, we also, you know, we'll also learn that, you know, how to use them better. And when we do that, I would say that, you know, that is actually better than maybe just sitting by yourself and trying to cram those concepts from a book or from a PPT or however it is. So I would say that one of the takeaways which I got was that, you know, learning has to be fun. It has to be, you know, interactive. It has to be communicative. And also it has to be, you know, when we talk about collective spaces, it is not just, you know, about, you know, the professors teaching the students as well. It is that we can learn from each other as well. Because when we, in our case, for example, you know, we are a business school. So there are a lot of people who come from different parts of the countries who have, you know, worked in various different fields from, you know, maybe say IT. There are people who have even worked in sustainability, who have been teachers and so on. So we can learn from each of the experiences when we interact with each other. When we can, you know, learn this, you know, people have different perspectives on the same topic as well. So when we learn from, when we learn their perspective, it will be, you know, in a way which we would have never thought of before. So that was the main takeaway which we got while conducting the game.
Perfect. I think it's wrapping up so much good, like our panel discussion, because we really need to like think out of the box right? So like bringing gaming aspects, bringing new formats like fishbowl, or you were talking about like the panel talks, sustainable today, which what we are also doing like right now at the university. It's like it's at the end like they accept us as like a cause, so it's like open to everybody, which everybody can join, which everybody can do on their sustainability project. So it's actually, if you have an aim and if you have a vision to go for like this road, then you can change things. I know it's hard, but don't stop, because I think you should like motivate every day yourself like that you are able to do it. And if you're like in this chapter already like starting with these initiatives, you need to move, like you need to really go on with these initiatives also, like after this presentation. So I thank you like so much like for everybody. And I see right now, so like in the some questions, do we have time to take questions? Like now we are like, I see like right now you say there are like breakout rooms.
Yes, you have time to take questions. It's
okay,
for
so
the speakers only for the next
session. Okay, this is for the next session. Okay, so I get a bit confused. So let's take the question. So I will just like read it like from Michael Winter. Like we have one question towards Maria. How did you get your university to approve the project?
Okay, so getting the space for our garden from the university was very easy this time around. Unlike what we originally thought. Yeah, before this academy, I would have said it was a difficult task to do, but we just wrote a proposal detailing all of our visions, our ideas, what we wanted to do, what we wanted to establish, and then we submitted it to the VC's office. And then it was actually a very prompt response. We received a confirmation asking us to detect the particular place in the university that we wanted to establish our garden. And well, unfortunately, the only delay came from the final confirmation of the garden, but all the process was relatively very easy. And I believe this session is a stroke of good luck because we just got the final confirmation letter, the official final confirmation letter from the VC. And I don't know if there's an opportunity if I can share the letter with you here. Well, another person is speaking maybe to save the time.
Yeah, thank you so much. Like it's also something also like really groundbreaking, like also like changing the structures which is existing. So I'm also super proud to hear this. And so let's go to the next question. As students of business economics, do you have sustainability, environment, climate change as part of your coursework? If so, is it from an interdisciplinary framework or from the perspective of your major? Or do you have to learn your own? I'm curious about how you gain the knowledge that informs your projects, whether we should push for sustainable education across disciplines. Thank you for question, Vandana. Like, so I think like you can just like go for like open your mic and just go free to talk. Who wants to answer?
So I would like to start. So we do have a sustainability course in our curriculum, and it mainly focuses around how what is the modern sustainability concepts, like I would say a circular economy, carbon credits, and so on, and how can they be how can how, as we are learning a business course, how we will have to use them in the future. So of course, there's a lot of the curriculum mainly focuses on the how businesses actually impact the environment, and how these kind of new concepts can actually be implemented by businesses to help businesses become cleaner and implement a more sustainable supply chains in the longer term. So while right now this course is mainly a instructor driven course with mainly the professor taking a lot of classes, and we do have a couple of projects as well. And we are also, I would say that we and Oikos Delhi are also in communication with that professor to actually implement, some certain changes in the curriculum, which will actually make it a lot more fun and interesting.
Okay, so do we have more business students, or like I think it was like economics, but I think it was already answering the question. So like I will move to the other one. So, question to all students. My students often are fed up with all group work they have to do. Can you pinpoint what makes a collective transforming learning space more engaging for you than traditional group work? In other words, can you help me convincing my colleagues how to reshape their group assignments into a truly collective, transformative learning experience? Who wants to start? I can also add this, like on this something later. But I want you to answer you first, maybe. Yes, no. So how do you convince like your other students like to be with you, to fight for the cause, or like to make new initiatives? Or maybe like, is it coming directly from like the university professors, or like you take the initiative and you said, okay, I'm gonna do this?
All right, if it's fine, I'll answer the question. Yeah, so hi Tom, this is a really good question. And so I'll give a little background by myself. I have a bachelor's and a master's degree in physics, and currently I'm a business management student. So it's my third degree, and I'll just let you know how difficult it is to sustain the group projects part. Basically, the group projects part are, frustrating for students because not all of the students are working equally. All right, that's where the line gets drawn. All right. So being a part of a lot of groups, and if you are the one who have to take, take up the project each and every time, that's where the interest of the group dies. So I think one of the way you can reinforce the group assignments is have the peers rate each of them. All right. The rating actually makes everyone work at least equally, if not more than each other. And in that way, the group stays connected. The second part you can do is have some reward at the end of an assignment, all right, a group assignment. Because let's say you could congratulate the best group who has done the assignment, okay, the way they have come up with something new. So these are the two things that I think we have also implemented. Our professors have implemented one of these here in our campus, and it has been working well. And I believe if you also try the second one where you congratulate the leading project, that actually reinforces the others to do better next time. Maybe try doing that for a change. It might work.
Yeah, thank you for that answer. Like, I will also add super something little, because I think we are coming to an end. So it's like also for me, it was in the beginning, I was of course a student, and when I was doing my master's, it was always challenging also for me, like to find, I was more engaged maybe than others. So for me, it was hard to like find this also initiatives. So that's why I said, okay, like now I need to find my own initiative, which I want to like try to get like the other students, because then we are in the same level. So I'm not like asking from somebody from top and saying them, hey, like do this, but it was really like student-led initiative. So therefore, like, of course, like they're like more engaged, maybe like to change you with something, but like therefore maybe this could be also a good idea. I can also share with you the concept, like the module like I created. So because it worked like 2 years at the TU Berlin, like super good, and now we are also getting an upgrade. So, and but at this point, like yeah, you can write me. I will put my LinkedIn in the chat, and then I think like afterwards, like if you, all of you, if you want to learn more, if you want to take actions, like, and like come to our chapter initiatives, and also to us. So I think like we can, it's just makeable and doable. Like when we come together, when we really collective and like collaboratively work, on the solutions, because something is maybe already existing like in the other part of the world. So why do we invest time of creating something new which is already existing? So just like we take the concept, we implement it there, we come together. So I think this is like the all changing and reforming the education system also in more sustainable way. So yeah, I think like, do you have last words, chapters? So maybe like tell me like just one word, like what you want to give as a takeaway, just one word, and then before we close the session.
I'll just say new ideas.
Okay,
I mean, a lot of
the next one.
I just have a phrase which says change is the only constant. So you gotta go for it.
Next one word or two or three. Next.
I would say our experiences.
Okay, next.
Support.
Next one.
Confidence in a sustainable future and transformative learning spaces. That was a bit more than a few words, sorry.
Katarina, I didn't hear from you.
I said support.
Support, you said support.
Sorry.
Okay, now I heard you. Okay, so everybody talk like with their own words, right? Okay, so I thank you so much, all of you. It was super nice to hear from you all. And also like thank you for Oikos Academy, Oikos family, and thank you all of you like participating here. Thank you, Navia, like giving me also the chance like to moderate like this like among this all nice, innovative, sustainable initiatives. And yeah, our journey is like still continuing, it's not stopping here. So come to us, like let's come together, and yeah. Thank you so much and have a nice afternoon, and also to go case fair right now we have, right? Okay.
Thank you
Nice.
for having me. Bye-bye.
Wow,
Thank you.
that was inspiring. Thank you so much, Bengisu. Thank you for all the chapters to present your story. And we now take 2 minutes break. Get yourself a bio break. And for those of you who are here still present, let's do an energizer, because my heart says that it needs water into my soul. So I'm going to take some time to take water. So reach out to the water bottle that you have close by and drink some water, get some energy into you. My bottle here says, breathe. Let's take the time to breathe. Take a deep breath. Thank you. And rub your palms together vigorously. Put your palms together, rub it vigorously, harder, faster. And you see your palms are generating some really good energy that we all need for the next session. You're getting the warmth from your palm. Now, wipe your palm to your face and put your energy back and feel refreshed. I'm feeling refreshed, so I hope you are also. And welcome everybody again. My name is Navya from Oikos International. I'm your host for your session, and thank you so much, Daria, for supporting us for Zoom facilitation. We are here for Case Fair. And what is Case Fair? we just heard the local initiatives from oikos chapter, right? And while Copernicus Alliance, Oikos International, Clever Forum, together we were all brainstorming, we thought, why not open this question to the whole world, to the whole public, and ask them what kind of collective learning spaces do they have? So when we asked, how do you create transformative collective learning spaces, we received many cases. A lot of cases from students, researchers, professors together who have worked. And it was a very hard decision for us to choose among all these cases. And today, in this session, we have 11 of those cases and presenters who are going to present their story to you. So this is now a case story session for you to enjoy a lot of inspirational collective learning spaces for you to take away. So keep yourself with an open mind and listen intentionally. Engage, because it's going to be an engaging session. I see a lot of them are using Jamboard, creating a poll presentation and having a very good engaging conversation for you prepared. So while we are having our speakers ready, I'd like to take you to this session. So now we are all in plenum. So what happens in the session is we have 4 breakout rooms created. And each breakout room will have 4 sessions, 25 minutes each session. So the speakers would change every 25 minutes. And you would have the opportunity to choose the breakout room that you want to go into and listen and engage. To choose the breakout room, you have to click on more, and then you have breakout room options, and there you will see Daria will now create 4 breakout rooms for us to join in. So feel free to choose whatever breakout rooms that you feel to. And be mindful for the speakers who are speaking, be mindful about your time. Of finishing your presentation in 25 minutes is very crucial, and immediately the next speaker, next case is presented. And the only trick here is the last session, the last hour, the last 25 minutes, the 4th breakout room will not have any sessions, so they can join immediately to other breakout rooms as well. You can remain in the same breakout room, or you can move around to other breakout rooms. And if you're having any struggle in moving, you could always post on the chat, use Zoom chat to post, move me to XYZ breakout room 1, 2, 4, and then we would also try to support you to move. I hope you're ready. We have the breakout rooms ready, and you will know more about the sessions from the speakers in the breakout rooms with an introduction. They're going to give the introduction to the cases that they're presenting. I hope we are all ready now. Yeah. I didn't hear you. Yeah. Okay. Let's join the breakout rooms now. Enjoy your sessions.
Hello.
I need to check in
Breakout sessions, will it go automatically for the speakers, or should we also choose?
You also need to choose, but I can also move you.
Yeah, can you move me? I'm not sure in which one I am at the moment. Which breakout?
Yes, we have the same question actually.
Okay.
Yeah, the same for I'm a speaker as well. It'd be great to be allocated a room.
Super, thank you.
Good. I also posted the breakout rooms, to be clear.
Thanks, that's helpful.
Thank you.
So I didn't understand. We have first round of breakout rooms, and most likely your case is actually happening in the next round. We have 3 rounds of different cases. This is something that I do believe Navi already communicated to you. So Clemence, I think your session is actually in the second round. Casey as well. So beginning from 5:30 until 6. And now if you're willing to join another case fair you would like to listen to, then feel free to do so. Talk about so many different inspiring projects, but I would love to invite you into a second round. And while I set up the breakout rooms, I'm giving words to Navia to introduce you to the second round of the rooms.
Yeah, and also take time to reflect and sending you the Miro board link here. Take this minute for you to reflect on this Miro board and put down your points while we are preparing the breakout rooms. Room 1 will be the only planet fostering sustainability through interdisciplinary learning by Kathy Machuris and Wannes. And room 2, service learning project, connecting essential learning outcomes with high impact education by Robin and Brent. Room 3, the climate change education project, May and Catherine. Room 4, KTU guided mentorship program, academic mentorship by Zivili and Eva. Are we all ready to join the breakout room session? Go ahead and enjoy the sessions and join the breakout room.
And I'm again happy to support with any needs.
And sustainability, because as you all know, and this is not new, of course, that it's not enough to just emphasize the cognitive understanding of what is happening, but that you have to integrate a physical and an emotional engagement. So we have to look for pedagogical approaches that combine the head, the heart, and the hand at the same time. So how can you do it? There are, of course, different ways of doing it, and we opted for art, because art can be a creative way of teaching, and it also allows the students to become reflective, and also to be creative, but also to be emotional about what is happening around them. So why is this important, this particular approach? Because we want to trigger or to stimulate a sustainability mindset. And for this sustainability mindset, we are working with Rima Noxi, at least with her work. And she says, well, a sustainability mindset is difficult to define, but it's something that will become visible in action. So the students or everybody has a lot of information of what is happening in the world nowadays. And the next step, what is important, is that you realize it, or that you are in shock, because you are also part of this particular problem. So only when you are in shock, then something can start happening, because you are feeling emotionally with it, and you're questioning, what are you doing here? How can I make a change? And then it will lead probably to an action, and you feel that there was an urgency to act. So this, what is very important is the feeling emotional, and we are trying to emphasize this, because like I said before, it is about the hand, the heart, and the head, the heart, and the hands, but the heart is not often stimulated within higher education, and especially within management education, because we have to be rational and excluding emotions, and now we want to stimulate it. So how are we doing it? we use appreciative inquiry and a challenge-based learning, and we have combined these two ways of approaching it. So we're bringing the arts into the debate of sustainability, and we are trying to explain it in the next slide. So the first element of appreciative inquiry is about discovering. And the discovering is, we do it with a Van Gogh painting. So the students have to choose a particular painting and then to link it with how they think about sustainability. What is their perspective on sustainability? And they have to exchange it. This year we did it with a speed dating, and then they learn from each other. They learn about Van Gogh. In the discovery phase, there was also the emphasis that they have to focus on a particular challenge. So this year it was about inclusion, but it can be related to a lot of aspects of sustainability. We want to include, but in which way? So they thought about Alzheimer, they thought about water, a lot of other elements, and they had to write it down on a post-it. And then this collection of post-its was a way of having a cafe conversation. Students did meet for the first time, so it was really difficult also for them, because you have students from France, you have students from Belgium, and they have to work together on a project. So it's very difficult, and we're only doing it in 3 days. The next stage is about dreaming. So after they have collected their particular group on the basis of what they would like to work on together, they start dreaming. And how do they do it? They do it together with making a drawing. So they are dreaming about what could be, and they do it collectively. And then they present it, as you can see in the lower right-hand corner. After dreaming, because dreaming is always nice, and we think it is really important to integrate it in the session, but there must be a next stage, and that is the designing. And so the students are triggered by designing by bringing a visit to the Musée d'Orsay in Paris. We do it in the morning, and the students have to choose a particular painting with their group that fits with the project that they want to create. And then finally, they have to deliver. So they really have to implement a project in connection with the partners of Van Gogh, and it has to be relevant to the partners. So they also have to communicate with these partners. So in this particular project, it is education, because the students can choose as an internship at KU Leuven, but it's also a research project, and we are using reflection reports and interviews. But the basis of all is the painting of Van Gogh. And now we want you to collaborate with this. And I give the floor now to Pascal.
I will share a link in the chat. And there you come on Mirror. And we asked the students the question, which painting of Van Gogh do you relate to sustainability? And we want to ask you the same question, because we can ask students a question like, what is sustainability? But it's a very fact-based, but it's not, everybody has their own personal idea, like to connect their own emotions towards the term. And we saw in research as well that everybody has a different way of understanding. So I will now put the mirror up, where you can put, where's the other link? So you can search online for a Van Gogh painting, and you have 5 minutes, and then we will have a small discussion about this.
So is it clear for everybody? Yes? Okay. So it's the mirror of this conference, so also a big thank you.
Programs, actually. What is also essential in this student consulting project, so we have just had this end of October now, on October 31st, that there is a huge award then taking place in the city of St. Gallen, where more than 600 people from the city and from the region are coming, from policy, from companies, and a live streamed huge award ceremony of the best projects that have been taken place. And that is also a strong motivation by the students. Now I'd like to jump into one of those projects that I have initiated last year when I came there. It is a real-world laboratory, a really sustainability-focused student consulting project as such, where we work together with the city of Zurich, and where one of those settlements in the city with about 200 flats, 500 people around living there, is a case of that should be made greener, and resource reduction should take place in this environment together with the people there. And so we have contribution to transformation for sustainable development, experiments together with the people in this real-world laboratory should take place. It is a transdisciplinary setting, really, where people from the environment there work together with the ownerships, with the administration of the settlement, and with science as well, and also with moderators, professional moderators for participation processes that are from RCE Zurich, a local network on education for sustainable development. It is a very long-term perspective connected to it, and also a learning process. So all of the stakeholders involved should really learn out of this project. Those were the 6 students. So in each of the consulting projects, one team of students then work for 1 semester on this consulting project. You can see they have professional photo shootings, and there's a very strong team building connected to it. And they then get really into depth of the process of the company, or in this case, the real-world laboratory. There's a research approach behind the real-world laboratory. So again, it's a very transdisciplinary approach where practice and research should come together. A co-design phase where people from the different stakeholders actually design together the future for the settlement, relate to the demands, to the needs of the people living there. There's a co-production where different experiments are being initiated then in the settlement, and the co-evaluation phase. What was the task of the students? It was actually to build up the monitoring system for the real-world laboratory. So the students from that worked on it from January until June this year, they conceptualized the monitoring system for this real-world laboratory. And now, from January next year to June next year, another group of students will actually do the monitoring itself. They will work on the conceptualized system by the students with the monitoring system, and then do interviews and so on, like a research along the real-world laboratory. The co-evaluation itself. Again, this is the settlement. We have around 500 people living there, around 200 flats in there. And it's quite expensive flats there. People expect a lot by living there, by the owners and so. But the main challenge, what the people living there see, is actually that there are no spaces where they can put their trash to. And the city of Zurich, actually, their ambition is with the project that overall the resources are being reduced. The city of Zurich has the ambition to become net zero by 2040. So they have quite an ambitious goal for the city of Zurich. And now with the real-world laboratories, they want to see good practice examples, actually, how they can transform the living in the city of Zurich towards a more sustainable lifestyle through real resource reduction initiatives. So it shouldn't be only how to recycle and how to separate different sorts of waste, but really how to reduce waste. Now, how to reduce food, how to reduce food waste, for example, yeah. And so those are the different stakeholders of the process. So it's the ownership of the settlement itself, There's the estate management, the residents themselves, research, we as research partner, the moderation by RC Zurich, and the city of Zurich also with different departments involved into this. And then different workshops took place together with the residents. And in all of this, the students actually took place. The students exchanged with the people there. They tried to find out what is actually the impact tree, the impact model also for the whole real-world laboratory. So their task for this first consulting project was to conceptualize the monitoring system, so that to understand what is the whole impact of the real-world laboratory. And therefore, they did interviews with different people, stakeholders from the whole process, and tried to understand the impact story behind. Yes. These are just some impressions of different stakeholders here. And we could really find that there is a co-production of this monitoring system between the students, the residents, the city of Zurich, the ownerships, etc. So that was actually already my presentation that you can see. So there is this student consulting project where the students really get a concrete task in a demand by some external partners, and the knowledge between science and practice actually comes together to create some common solution for something. And I told that this presented case here with the real-world laboratory is kind of extraordinary. The usual case would just be mostly that some company comes and says, we have a new product, how can we best market this and bring this into practice, and what are the best market strategies for it, and so on. So not necessarily connected to sustainability. So my question is here really, we have every year 40 of such consulting projects. How can we best integrate sustainability as an integral part of all these consulting projects? And the strategy would be really to find most possible companies that really have a sustainability task that they want to work on together with students. Or the strategy B would be to integrate sustainability, even if maybe the company partner doesn't necessarily ask for it. Yeah. So shouldn't be sustainability permanent, integral part of our thinking, also when we do business, when we integrate new products into the market and so on. So, and shouldn't be this also a challenge then for the students, and be something that we as a higher education student have part of our responsibility actually to bring sustainability therefore into practice. So this is just some thoughts, and I'm curious about your thoughts as well. Thanks a lot. Do you have questions? It's the tricky part.
Connect, may I ask? I don't see the option to raise my hand here. So I just want to ask if, thank you very much. It was very interesting. I'm happy to know what you are doing now. Isn't there a possibility when, especially some companies are marketing their products to explore the life cycle assessment and CO2 impact of the product?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be an option?
That would be an option, and there are, how do you say, singular one-by-one companies that have that interest to find this out by their products that they like to bring into the market and so. But it's really selected ones that have this specific interest. I was before coming to this job a year ago, I was always working fully in teams of sustainability and being surrounded by people of sustainability enthusiasts and so on. And now I was pretty much thrown into a pot of people that are fully business oriented. And I'm in the Department of Strategy and Marketing. I don't know how I got there, but I experienced that it is seriously another world, yeah, where sustainability isn't a permanent topic of doing the job, and so. And I experience also that so many companies that the university works with really have nothing to do with sustainability yet. Yeah? And their main task is about, okay, how can we bring a product into the market to make the best business out of it? Yeah, business of business is business. But I think it is in our responsibility at the same time. That's what we have learned with oikos. That's what we have learned with Copernicus Alliance, I think. And that's what we have, UNESCO says with the whole UN Decade and Action Program and etc. That it is a task of education to bring sustainability out of our campus, work together with society on education. And the question for me is now really what's the best strategy for it, and how to make this subversive, how to or to say directly, okay, now as one of our parts of the consulting projects, it's permanently included that we always talk about sustainability as well and reflect the task that you give us as a company also from a sustainability perspective. I don't know.
I would really be in favor of this strategy B, but I think you can combine them also. But I think it's extremely important that, I mean, already congratulations, Clemens, that you're there where you're not with like-minded people, because very often we are amongst like-minded people, and that's not really what makes things advance. So it's very important, I think, that we try and talk about sustainability where it's not an evidence. And I think we should also try and prepare our students for that, you know. And in this sense, the strategy B would be really a great learning experience. How can they actually find argumentations and line of
the green offices, but also from our SOS International members, as well as our partners, to really come together and become more of a movement, and that we all know what we are all doing. So it's really like a follow-up, let's say, on this summit, where also the learnings from this summit will be presented and we can learn more. For example, one of the ambassadors that is coming is actually working on making a documentary on the movement, so they can also promote it in Africa more. So yeah, we are really working on becoming more international and spreading the other projects. And another thing we are currently working on is having better like impact measurements, so we can better show also in numbers what our impact is, and that we support the position of the Green Office more within institutions. Because, for example, in Belgium, they now have a new government that is really not super enthusiastic about sustainability initiatives. So some of the Green Offices are being cut on their funding, which is, of course, pretty sad. So we are trying to look at ways that it can be even more anchored within the organization, so they cannot just like take it away, or that we want to, that maybe like it can be more within, like, I don't know, we are looking at ways in how we can make sure that the status of the Green Offices is better protected. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Are there any more questions? So I have a question as well for you. So we would like to work together also more with other organizations or with other like people. Yeah, we don't have much time, but within the sustainability network at higher education institutions. So I was wondering if there's anything that we can help you with doing your work better. I know there are many oikos chapters actually in universities that are also green offices. So yeah, I don't know if you have any ideas on that.
I'm sorry, I have to leave here past, but nice seeing you and have a lovely evening.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, Søren.
Just a pleasure. See you in March, Marte.
Yes, looking forward.
Marte, I would really love to connect with you as well later on. I know
Cool.
you're really busy and it's so difficult to get you on, but I would really love to connect.
Cool. I can hang around for a few minutes after this session if that's helpful.
Yes.
I know the rooms are going to close in 23 seconds, but one thing that caught my attention is impact measurement that you have been talking about. So something that we could definitely support each other, because that's, I think, the space that currently a lot of NGOs, and particularly NGOs in sustainability, are growing and learning. So
good.
I'd love that.
We are now at the end of the session. I thank each and every speakers of all the cases. I'm really, really inspired, and very from the last session, I was seeing that even students are getting paid to bring the change in their campuses and include sustainability. So those are the things that I really wish. And also Green Office had a very good vision to become a hub for sustainability. So we are wishing them also luck. I think we end the session by thanking each one of you all for being a good listener, by engaging, by really harvesting those sessions, and take your time out after this after the session as well to harvest a bit and reflect a bit and put down your points in the mirror board. And welcome everybody for tomorrow's session. We have 9 o'clock starting with Daria and Tom opening, and tomorrow's session is more on ranking evaluation in the morning, and in the afternoon we have Prime I5 theory and theory U, IDG, practitioner space, and we also have some time for networking. So see you all tomorrow and have a great evening, a restful evening. Thank you so much. Good evening.
Thank you so much. It's really great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good
Thank
evening.
you, Daria. Thanks a lot. See you tomorrow.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Clemence. Hello, team. How are you feeling? I see some smiles. That means that we are in a full excitement mode and it went pretty well.